Third grade artists, we just learned about Mr. Monet's water lily paintings, and what we're going to be doing today is making a water lily of our own out of clay. So something that's 3D or has form. So that means it has a front, a back, a side, and a bottom. All right. So at the drive-thru, what you're going to need to grab is a piece of clay and a messy mat, as well as a clay tool. When you get to your seat, if you're on number 3, you're going to need to grab water and a toothbrush. My first step is I need to divide my clay up. So some of my clay, about half, is going to go for details. The other half is going to be for my water lily. Okay? I'm going to wave by, and I'm going to turn my piece of clay into a flat slab. Okay? I can do that by turning it. I can do that by kind of gently hitting it against the table with my arm or my fist. Okay? I'm not slamming my fist into my clay. I will make a big fist mark. Okay? You just need to gently pat your clay to make a slab or a flat cookie shape. If my flat cookie is thinner than my finger, that is too thin. It will be too fragile. Okay? So make sure that your clay is no thinner than your finger. I'm working on my clay mat so that my clay doesn't start to stick to my table spot. And my first step is I'm going to take a triangle out of the center of my clay. Do you notice how I sketched that out first? Okay, I didn't cut right away. That way if I make a mistake, I can just smooth it back out and try again. So just sketch it out first, what your triangle is going to look like, and when it looks good, go ahead and cut that out. Okay, this is extra. I'm going to come back and smooth with my finger out where I cut. Okay. The rest of my shape is kind of like a circle. It's really organic. Okay, if I think of a lily pad, they grow straight from the ground, so they're not going to be a perfect circle when they're coming from nature. If you would like, you can come back with your clay tool and kind of trim back some lumps and stuff from the side, or maybe even roll it on your table so that you get that nice edge. It's up to you. Okay, I'm coming back with my finger and I'm smoothing some of those rough spots out so that my lily pad is nice and smooth, because while it might not be a perfect circle, it should probably be pretty smooth at the top. Just with one finger, smooth, 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 using no water at all. All right, now lily pads, they kind of are like a leaf, and they have these kind of viney patterns on them. I can come back and draw in there these wavy lines into my clay, and that will give a little bit of texture, but a texture that I want. Okay, not a texture that happened on accident. Okay, but I need to come back and get rid of any little crumbles of clay. And I am ready for my details. Okay, you could maybe make a frog, you could maybe make a little snail or a flower. All lily pads have flowers. Okay, so to make my flower, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a little bit off the side for my snail. To make my flower, I need to start with my flat slab again. So wave goodbye, make a cookie, or I like to even pinch with my crab claws, going around in a circle. My lily pad can be made any way that you would like, but what I like to do is cut out some triangles from the center. Okay, and that will start to make some petals for my lily pad. Your petals will be round, they could be pointed, it's up to you. Alright, I have a little bit more sculpting to do because right now mine looks kind of like a cross. So I want mine to be pointed. So I'm going to come back and turn those rectangles into a triangle. Alright, here's my flower. I'm going to have each of those petals kind of start to curl up. I'm going to go back and smooth them out. Maybe pinch a little bit. If I want to add more petals, I can by score slipping and pressing those on, which looks like this. Okay? Scoring, slipping, and pressing is how I make an attachment. It's kind of like how I glue that piece onto the other piece. Okay? So scoring and slipping, I'm using a damp toothbrush, and I'm making some textures in that clay. You can also use your clay tool to make some marks. Slip is where that toothbrush is wet, and now my most important part is press and smooth. Okay? Press and smooth is kind of like the part where we glue things down and count to 10. Okay? If you miss that, your piece won't glue together. I might even make a little clay sphere for the center of my lily pad. But I'm making an attachment. So what do I need to do? Score, slip, and press each part. A little bit of water. And press. Alright, my last thing I wanted to make was a snail. Okay, to make a snail, I need to roll out a coil. To make a coil, I need to wave goodbye. Okay, I can also roll it on my table. If it starts to get flat on one part, I can just go back with my pincher fingers and pinch this part that's getting flat. My coil for my snail cannot be any thinner than my finger. So I need to make sure that I leave enough clay for my snail. Alright? Now I'm making an attachment here, even though I am just spinning my clay or turning it into a spiral. I need to do some score slipping and pressing. Now working on my messy mat so my clay doesn't stick to my table, I'm going to spin or spiral my coil, pinching the whole time, okay, adding some pressure. When I get far enough, I want to leave some room for my snail's head. Snail come up at the top, maybe pinch a little bit, add some eyes with my clay tool, maybe make a mouth. And this snail is going to go on my lily pad as well. Okay, do you notice how I kind of patted the bottom so it's flat there? Gives it a nice resting place. Okay, I need to score, slip, and press. If I do not do that, it will not make an attachment. Score, slip, press, and smooth. Smooth out that attachment. My piece is finished. Okay, you are going to leave it on your messy mat, and I will come around and write your name and class code on the bottom. That is a teacher job for today. Okay, what I'm going to do is come around and gently, gently flip your piece upside down. If anything's not attached, I'll find out right now, and I'll tell you to go back. And with a really sharp pencil, I'm going to write my name, Miss G, and your class code. Once you've got the A-OK approval that everything's attached and your name is on the back, you need to carry it flat like a lunch tray to the clay cart. To clean up, your clay tool needs to get put away, as well as your messy mat, and your table spot needs to get washed off.